them just a couple minutes. Thank you so much. Allow them just a couple minutes to be able to pop on here. Again, if we had anyone new pop on that's brand new that you have not already introduced yourself, just put a 1 in the box along with your first name so that I can welcome you properly. Now, I'm also assuming that everyone here is in some sort of direct sales or in some sort of business. So if you wouldn't mind, also go ahead and put in the chat stream there for me what business it is that you are in. And then that way we can just kind of see where everyone is at. Okay. Now, please do not provide any links. This is not for spamming anybody, but it just helps me to know who all is out there and who's watching. Okay. So if you are with a business, if you currently own your own business, whether it be direct sales or whatever, go ahead and put in the comment stream what company you are with. And look at all my Premier peeps. Love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Look, do we have, is it all Premier Jewelers? I love it. Wonderful. Clothing and accessories. Awesome. Girl, I'm not sure if I'm following you yet, but I'm gonna follow you. Could you tell me what your first name? Oh, Angel. I'm sorry, you did already tell me that. Okay, so to send the hearts, you're just gonna tap on your screen, and it's going to give you, each person has their own designated color of hearts. So as you tap on the screen, you can see your little flow of hearts. And also, the funny thing is, I've also learned that the more fingers you use, I know it sounds so silly, but I usually, if I'm hearing something that I really, really love, and I just want to like over flood them with hearts, I use all 4 of my fingers and I do these short little taps, and it's just like, it gives a ridiculous number of them. So yes. Okay, well, I see that we have had quite a few new people join, so real quick, I'm going to introduce myself one more time, and we're going to get into this, okay? So my name is Buffy Hood. I am, oh, awesome. I am with Premier Designs Jewelry. I've been in direct sales for 9 years, and really, I just love what it is that I do, and I like being able to share things. Mr. Troll, you must have missed that because we don't put up with that. So yes, so needless to say, I am here today to be able to provide you all with some useful content. And as you're hearing things that you like, go ahead and give that little tap on the screen. Again, thank you to our YouTube our YouTube viewers, our live viewers, and our replayers. So thank you all so very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. So why should we be leveraging social media, especially for our businesses? Okay, so here's why. First is to be able to connect with our customers. Okay, and I know there are some people who will tell you that when you connect with your customers, keep it solely and only business and professional. I personally do not agree with that. You need to make sure that these people understand that you are a person. You need to make sure that they are able to relate to you, that they are able to see things about you that are not strictly professional. So whether that is them being able to see pictures of you spending time with your kids, or maybe it's them hearing the news of your daughter graduating, or whatever, okay? But you need to make sure that you are connecting with them, and connecting with them means more than just putting things up and them seeing it. Okay, connecting with them means connecting with them on a deeper level. It means connecting with them and building those relationships. Okay, building, and I was just having a conversation actually with my hygienist this morning about how there are so many companies out there that have totally lost sight of building those relationships, and it can be very difficult for someone like me who is in a business with a company who puts so much emphasis on keeping things personal and puts so much emphasis on building relationships. And then you go to the grocery store and the cashier doesn't even say hi. The cashier doesn't even look up. I mean, just like basically a robot could do her job. Okay. Because she's not communicating. She's not looking at you. She's not acknowledging you. They don't even say thank you. Nothing. Okay. So you need to make sure that even through your social media that you are connecting in such a way that you are going to build those relationships. Okay. The next thing is to increase visibility. All right. Anything that you do in social media is just going to help you be seen a little bit more. Now, yes, zero customer service, and girl, that drives me insane. That drives me insane because my thing is, if you are in a business that deals with customer service, you better have a good customer service attitude. And you better be thankful for every single customer that comes into your path because they are the only reason why you have a job. Okay. So, yes, customer service is ridiculous anymore. It drives me insane. I totally would rather deal with a robot rather than have a person there who doesn't even acknowledge me. That, I don't know, that bothers me in a major way. Okay. But I'm going to stay off my soapbox for that. Okay. The other thing is, of course, to self promote. Yeah, I know. You know what? And here's the thing. All I can ever do is, just pray for them and hope that whatever it is that they're going through that is not allowing them to be joyful, that something changes for them. And that's the only thing that I can ever do is pray for them and still attempt to talk to them. I used to have more of a passive aggressive side. Premier's kind of knocked that out of me. I used to have a little bit more of a passive aggressive side that if somebody did something and in my opinion a thank you should have been said, I was always the one, who as an example would hold the door open for someone, and when they wouldn't say thank you, they wouldn't even look at me, they wouldn't acknowledge me, I'd go, you're welcome. And not anymore. I'm a better person today than I used to be. But yes, I don't ever want to be the person that someone would look at and feel the need to holler that at, right? So now I do my best to be extremely courteous to people, and that's something that just as I've gotten older, I think has just come into play. But apparently, because I say yes, sir, and no, sir, and yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, I've been asked if I'm from the South, and really, Delaware is as far south as I've ever lived. But apparently, Northerners, according to Southerners, don't have manners. And I don't like that. That drives me nuts. So we need to bring some of that Southern hospitality north, right? And then also to give and to receive recognition. So to be able to offer recognition to your team, to offer recognition to your hostesses or your customers and things like that. It's awesome to be able to use that social media to be able to do that. Okay. All right. So there are some major findings that have developed where basically they, have been doing studies and things like that. Many of you already probably know this, which is that video has become essential. Live video is the hottest thing right now, and y'all know this or you wouldn't be on Periscope. Okay. Live video is huge, and there's a reason for that. Okay. So first off, when you're on live video, it's very hard to be scripted. Does that make sense? Okay. It is very hard to be scripted, which means you're going to come across more genuine. You're going to come across as somebody who is relatable. You're going to show those flaws, can we say? So as an example, there are times when I flub up and I stumble over my words and have issues being able to get out what it is that I'm trying to say. Here's the thing. In my mind, I go, well, that doesn't make me look very professional. Okay. Listen, but it makes me relatable. Okay. Because then other people are able to see that, oh, you don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't have to be on point all the time. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Feel like my dog. Yeah, she's real professional, isn't she? Love it. Okay, and then also Facebook and YouTube are currently holding the top spots for that live video, but y'all know what I'm going to say. Periscope is, I guarantee you, Periscope is going to get bigger. It's going to get bigger. But I think that they are definitely giving Facebook a run for their money, because I don't know how many of y'all have tried Facebook Live. Put a 1 in the box if you tried Facebook Live. I want to do a little poll here. You feel like you don't? Oh, girl, I promise you, you do. You absolutely do. Are you kidding? Okay. All right. So for those of you, I wanted to make sure there was at least somebody here who did. Okay. For those of you who have done Facebook Live, have you also done Periscope Live? And if you have, put a 1 in the box. If you've done both, if you've done Facebook and Periscope, so meaning you can compare the two. And you honestly, even if you haven't Periscoped, you can probably determine it, even just based off of the comments and when I speak. So the one thing that has been driving me nuts about Facebook Live is the timing is very much off. So there's a delay there. So comments will be coming through, and it'll take forever for those comments to actually, like the comments show up, but then when I comment back during the Facebook Live, it seems like there's such a delay. You can use your phone to Periscope. I use my tablet to Periscope, and then I am also filming at the exact same time with my laptop. So then that way that can be uploaded then to YouTube. It used to be where Periscope, the scopes went off right away. I want to take a peek at something because I received some sort of notification that told me that Periscopes were now going to be available. Yes. Okay, so I'm waiting for that to go away. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so these are all the different broadcasts. As of yesterday, or some point, I don't know if it was yesterday or it was some point over the weekend, but Periscope changed things. So now those scopes will be there forever unless I choose to get rid of them. So for any of you who have ever gone through the whole issue of you missed the scope and you weren't able to catch up with it and I didn't get it uploaded on YouTube quick enough and things like that, no worries, because now they're always staying there on Periscope. So you don't have to use anything to, and for those of you who had ever heard of that catch.com or catch.me or whatever it was, that used to be something where people would basically upload their Periscopes to that. Well, now that is no longer available. That app no longer even exists. They're not doing that anymore. So I guess now Periscope decided to make their broadcast stay permanently unless you choose to delete them. So I love that, but I will still be uploading them onto YouTube because here's the thing. Some people don't have Periscope. Okay, so everybody has access to YouTube, but not everybody has access to Periscope. Okay, so the key things about keeping social media personal are, for one, content, and we'll talk about each one of these very briefly. So the first one is content, second one is connection, and the third one is consistency. Okay, now I don't think I need to tell you guys how much it drove me nuts to not be here at 12 o'clock, because that's the time that I'm supposed to be here, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock on the dot every day. Okay, Missy, thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. It drove me nuts, but guess what? I had a dentist appointment, but y'all will be happy to know that for the one that was scheduled in December, I made sure to schedule it for 10 o'clock so I can be home by 12. I'm telling you, it's bad. It's bad. Okay, so content. You want to make sure that you are providing useful content on your social media. And here's the thing. The best things that are going to get you the most interaction are going to be things where you're asking people's opinions. That's just how it goes. And here's the thing, especially for those of us who are marketing more toward women, the awesome thing is ladies love to give their advice. Okay. And sometimes even when we're not asked. Okay. But we love to give our advice. We love to give our opinion and that kind of thing. So if you are posting things that, as an example, maybe you post an outfit and then you post two different options of groupings of jewelry that you could pair with that, or accessories, additional accessories that could go with it. And you say, okay, with this outfit, which would you choose? And you have, the different pictures to be able to show other jewelry combinations or different accessories, whether it be shoes, bags, whatever. Okay. So all of that. And then also, of course, anything that is just really just random, that is just, how many of you hate the dentist or things like that? You would be amazed, okay, at people being able to interact. And this was something that I kind of knew, but I didn't realize to the degree. Okay. Here's one thing that you guys may or may not know is that Facebook especially works off of algorithms. Okay. So here's what that means. What that means is when you post something, whether it be on your business page or even your personal page. See, I knew it was for business pages. I didn't know they did this with personal pages. Okay. So here's the thing. If you post something, let's just say we're just going to use an example and say you have 100 people. Okay. If you have 100 people, they're going to show that post to one person. They're going to show it in just one person's newsfeed. And if that person does not like, comment, or share, they dump it. They won't show it to anybody else. If that person, I know, right? If that person likes, shares, or comments, then they'll show it in a couple other people's newsfeed. And if they do something with it, they'll show it in a couple more. And then in a couple more. And in a couple more. But here's the thing. If that first person doesn't like, share, or comment, and they wind up dumping it, then guess what happens? Nobody sees your next post for the next 7 to 10 times. All right. So have you ever felt like you're just posting stuff and nobody is seeing it because nobody's commenting, nobody's doing anything? Well, guess what? They might not be seeing it. Okay. And that's the reason why there are so many businesses out there that actually pay to have their things show up in people's news feeds. Okay. So I was not aware of what do I want to say? The complexity of it. I was not aware to the degree of which this is happening. And I did think that it was mainly on business pages, but it turns out that it's actually even on our personal pages. So sometimes if it seems like we're posting and nobody's doing anything, it's because they're just not showing it. So yeah, so they're because basically what happens is Facebook views that as you are not relevant to your audience. So if your audience is not liking, commenting, or sharing, then they remove it from the news feeds of your audience because they want to make sure that what those people are seeing in their news feed are things that they actually like. Okay. Now, there is also the algorithm that basically works off of if you and this other person have not communicated in quite some time, even though you remain Facebook friends, they will no longer show up in your newsfeed. Okay. So again, have you ever noticed that you're basically seeing the same 15, 20 people over and over again in your newsfeed? Anybody notice that? Put a 1 in the box if you've noticed that you tend to see like the same 15 to 20 people all the time. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. So here's what's happening. Because you have not liked, commented, or shared on their post enough, and they have not done the same for you, Facebook basically says 2 of these people don't want to see each other anymore. I know, right? Okay. So here's what you need to do. in order to be seen by more people. Because the cool thing is that if, let's say, you haven't seen anything from Sally in a long time, and you suddenly realize that, hey, she hasn't been showing up in my news feed. Has she not been on Facebook? And you go and you look and you find that, she's been on Facebook every day for the last 3 months, and you haven't seen anything of her on your news feed, nothing, whatever. If you either private message her to say, hey girl, just wanted to see what's up, haven't seen you in a while, haven't talked to you, whatever, or if you like, comment, or share on one of her pictures, guess what's going to happen? Your post will now start showing up in her news feed. Okay. So it doesn't even have to be that they come and like, share, or comment on your things. If you go and like, share, and comment on other people's things, it will make you more visible in the news feeds of everyone. Okay. it's ridiculous. It really is. Okay. So you need to spend some time going through your Facebook friends and go and like, share, and comment. Go to people's actual personal page, like go to their profile and just go through a couple of their recent things and just like, comment, or share. Okay. And the more that you do that, and the more people you do that with, the more people that your post will show up on. All right. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're providing that useful content, and you want to make sure that you are actually spending time with those. Yes. Yes. So here's the thing. If you only go by the people on your news feed, then guess what's going to happen? You're only going to keep seeing those same people on your news feed. So go look for people who you have not seen anything of in a while. Message them. And I found that part out after I kind of realized, I'm like, you know what? There was a previous hostess, former jeweler of mine, who was a good family friend. We used to go to church together, everything else. And I was kind of like, I haven't seen anything of her in the longest time. And so I went on, saw that, yes, she had been on. I Facebook messaged her, just said, hey, girl, it's been a while since I've talked to you. I just wanted to catch up and see how you're doing. And guess what happened? Suddenly the next time she posted, it popped up in my news feed. And suddenly the next time I posted, it popped up in hers, because next thing I know, she's liking and commenting and sharing. So I found that out on my own. But it was confirmed for me that, yes, in fact, that is how their algorithms work. Okay. All right. So the next one is connection. People who spend time on social media like to spend time with people. Imagine that. Okay. We're people. We like to spend time with people. That's how God created us. God created us to want to be with other people. So guess what? Yes, the social media is awesome in terms of being able to connect with people. But here's the thing. If they are only ever seeing your product, your logo, things like that, that's not going to build a relationship with them. Okay. People want to deal with people, which means they want to see your beautiful face. So yes, for those of us who are jewelers, we may have a tendency to take a picture of our arm party, and put it on Instagram, and send it out to Facebook, whatever. That's great. But you know what? People want to see our faces, not just our product. So maybe instead, as an example, you're doing a selfie that they're able to see your face as well as your beautiful bracelets. All right. You can still say it's for an arm party. Okay. Also, they also like to have that connection with people, not just your product all the time being shoved in their face. Okay. So another little thing that you can do is, as an example, let's say you are at your son's football game. Okay. You can take a picture of what's happening, and I keep grabbing my phone just out of force of habit. You can take a picture of, as an example, maybe it's of your boys actually playing or whatever, and maybe you just happen to have your arm kind of in the shot. Maybe your arm is sitting on the fence or whatever, and you're taking a picture that it can kind of still see that product. But you know what? You don't have to post anything about your product. You don't have to say anything about your product. Your product is still being seen in the image, but you're not shoving it down people's throats. And they might be able to look at that and go, oh, I like that bracelet. And you didn't even mention that that was a post that had anything to do with jewelry. You didn't put the comment about your football player. And here's the thing. Please avoid doing this too, because it drives me nuts. I feel like it's like a sneaky way to try to kind of turn one thing from another. There's a difference in trying to make sure that your product is kind of seen, but yet at the same time you're telling people the story of your life and different things that you're doing, versus, as an example, if you were to say, oh, just sitting here watching little Johnny play, this is just one of the many things that I get to do being a Premier Designs jeweler. If you want to join me and have your own Premier Designs business, contact me at blah 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 blah. Okay, that the whole thing was a sales pitch. The fact that you even mentioned your son playing football, whatever, people didn't even see that. All they saw was the sales pitch that went along with it. Okay. As you are showing people all the things you get to do because you are self-employed, because you have your own business, they're going to see those things and they're going to be like, man, how does she always have all this time? How does she always, and then eventually it will kind of ding, ding, ding of, oh, because she's her own boss. Okay. But we don't have to be shoving it down their throats all the time. So be professional, but also be personal. Here's another thing that I'm going to throw out there. For those of you, as an example, I am one who I always friend my hostesses and my customers. Okay. Actually, I have them friend me. So what I do is, as an example, at my shows, I will tell people that my hope is that after today that I'm going to be their brand new favorite jewelry lady, and I would like to invite them to become my Facebook friend. So if a Facebook friend requests me before the end of my presentation, they receive extra auction dollars to be able to use toward the gifts at the end. Okay. So people friend me, and then I'm able to stay in contact with them. I'm able to continue carrying on that relationship with them long after the show has ended. Some people say, don't do that. Oh, you shouldn't mix your personal and your professional. Well, you know what? When I'm with a company who is constantly telling us to keep things personal, yeah, I do. That's how I feel. Okay. And for those who are personal friends of mine, they also need to understand that Premier is a major part of my life. And just like I have to hear how much they hate going to work on Monday mornings and how much their job sucks and how much they hate their coworkers and blah, 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 there should be nothing wrong with me saying how much fun I had at a local training, or how much fun I had giving XYZ to, my hostess or whatever. Okay. So yes, so I do recommend being professional and personal at the same time. Now, here's what I would also say. If you are friending your hostesses and your customers, please be aware that you are also needing to uphold a little bit of that professional image. So here's what I'm saying. You would be amazed at the number of people that I see on their Facebook pages, and I'm not just talking among Premier people. I'm talking direct sales in general. And I will see things that they post on their page and I'm going, do they remember they have customers on here? Do they remember that they have hostesses on here? Because they will be posting things that I wouldn't say to my mother, that I wouldn't say to my best friend, let alone post on social media where I have customers and hostesses. Okay. So you do need to make sure that you're, protecting your image in terms of, if you're going to go out drinking with the girls, you don't need to blast that all over Facebook. Okay. If you're going to post vulgarity, then don't add your customers and your hostesses to your Facebook page. Okay. So that's kind of where I stand on that. So many people were always like, oh, you add people to your personal page? Well, I mean, what if they see something that, it's like, look, I don't post anything on Facebook that I don't want anybody to see. So I don't post things on there that would be inappropriate for people to see. I post things on there that show people who I am. But here's the thing. I guess I'm not really out doing inappropriate things, so it doesn't matter. Okay. All right. The other thing is the consistency. Okay. It builds trust. So here's the thing. How many of you now most of you guys already knew that I was going to be late getting on scope today. But how many of you would say that you find me to be reliable and trustworthy because I've told you that I'm going to be on scope Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you know that you can count on me to be there. So if that's you, put a 1 in the box. Put a 1 in the box if you have come to realize that you can trust me and that I am reliable to be here and do what I say I'm going to do. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Also, that consistency will create brand recognition. All right. You want to build yourself in such a way that every time that you are doing something that people know what they're going to get with that. Okay. Or that they can look at something and automatically go, oh, that must be from so and so. Okay. All right. So you want to develop a social media plan. So here's what you're going to want to think about. All right. And then I'm going to let y'all go. So the things that you want to pay attention to are, for one, what are your goals in terms of social media? All right. Are you using social media specifically for those of us in Premier? We already know that our social media is typically more for the purpose of building those relationships, building credibility, building that trust, building that professional yet personal relationship with those people. Okay, it's not always about selling. It's not always about booking shows and things like that. And here's the thing: the more that you build those relationships with people, the more they're going to want to do business with you. Does that make sense? Okay, I enjoy doing business with people that make me feel good, that make me feel important, that make me feel like I add value to their business. Those are the people that I want to work with. Those who don't acknowledge me, are only after a sale, and don't ever contact me again, it's kind of like whatever. All right. So what are your goals for social media? Are you looking for it for the purpose of building your credibility? Are you looking to expand your reach? Are you looking to, so you just kind of want to know where it is that you're trying to go with things. And then that will let you know maybe what your content should be and that sort of thing. Also, for those of us in Premier, we have amazing places to get our content. And guess where it's from? It's from Premier Designs Inc. Okay. For anybody else here who might be in a different business, it might be whether it's offered through your company where they provide some things for you, whether it be whatever. You might have to create your own. I don't know. But you just want to make sure that you're providing useful content and content that will engage those people. Okay. The next thing you want to think about is how much time do you want to spend each day, each week, or each month on your social media. All right. So this is something that you will need to schedule. So many people say, oh, well, I don't have time to post things about my business, but yet I'll get a Candy Crush request from them. And I'm going, if you could pop on and play Candy Crush and send me a request, you had time to be able to post something on your Facebook. Okay. Yes. Isn't that awesome? I love that. I love that. And it's so funny because sometimes when Premier does that sort of thing, then I will, kind of repost it out and be like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Premier did this. Okay. So yes, you also want to pay attention to who your audience is. Who is your audience and what kind of relationship do you have with them? How does your audience use social media? All right. So depending on who it is that you're trying to reach out to might depend on how they use social media or what social media they use. All right. Figure out where you're going to get that content. We already touched on that. And how will you measure success? All right. For me personally, Here's the thing. Social media does not cost you a thing. It doesn't have to cost you a thing. Okay. It is free advertisement. And the best thing you can do is be consistent and be there building relationships. And if you're doing those two things, you're successful. All right. Because even if it hasn't happened yet, at some point, seeds that you have planted, they will come to fruition, but you're going to have to stick it out. All right. So even when you feel like nobody's seeing your things, you still need to be on there commenting, liking, sharing, etc. All right. Also, for different social media platforms, and we're just going to talk about Instagram and Facebook right now, but Facebook, the best days to post are Sundays and Thursdays in the evening. All right. I don't know why. They must be the less busy days of the week for most people. I'm not sure. But Sundays through Thursday are the prime nights of people being on Facebook more often. Okay. But really, any day between the hours of 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. All right. I'm hoping, I'm not seeing any comments or hearts, so I'm hoping y'all are writing this stuff down. If you're taking yourself some good notes, put a 1 in the box so that I know I haven't lost you. Okay. And then also Instagram is going to be first thing in the morning. So you're going to want to post that first thing in the morning on Instagram because, again, that's the one that most people get on first thing in the morning in comparison to Facebook. But you can also do last thing, like right before you go to bed. If you want to post on Instagram right before you go to bed, then that way, there again, it's showing up on people's feeds first thing in the morning. Okay. All right. The last thing is that lunch hours are also good because when people are on their lunch hours, that's when they're having a chance to like grab their phones, get to their computers, their tablets, whatever, which is one of the main reasons why I usually do my Periscopes at 12 o'clock because usually at 12 o'clock we have more people having the ability to be able to pop away. So that is what I have for you today. If this was useful information for you, would you just let me know? Because for me, I was like blown away by a lot of this. Okay. And much of it, well, I shouldn't say much of it. Some of it I already knew, but it was kind of one of those where I had to really kind of, I had to look at what I'm doing. And I know as an example, I have not been consistent on my other social media platforms. And here's the thing. There are a ridiculous number of platforms out there. I'm not saying that you should go out there and get on all of them. Okay. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is pick 1 or 2 and get really good at using those platforms. Get really good at being consistent. And if you do something such as if you do Instagram and Facebook as an example, you can post on Instagram and then select that it automatically share it to your Facebook. So you don't have to go into 2 different places to be able to post it. You can share from one directly to the other. So that can be a great way to make sure that you're getting those things out there. Now, there also are some apps that I wanted to let you know about as well. There's some apps out there that you can use to schedule your posts for you. All right. So if you would like to have things posted at a certain time, but you can't always be guaranteed that you're going to be able to get to the computer at that time, that you're going to be able to get to your phone at that time, or maybe you're just not so sure you're going to remember to get on it and do it at that time. Okay. You can use certain apps. There are apps out there. One of them is called, I think it's Hootsuite. So that's one of them. There's also another one that is called Buffer. So, and there's lots of other ones out there. You can probably just browse your apps and be able to figure out which ones are going to work for you and the social media platforms that you plan to use. But it is a phenomenal thing to be able to literally schedule those to just do it for you. So maybe you find that you have a lot of free time first thing in the morning. Maybe your free time is right smack dab in the middle of the day. Maybe your free time is right before you go to bed. you could schedule those things for the next day to be able to post whenever it is going to be best for you. And the awesome thing too about, for those of you who have business pages, is if you are looking at your insights on those business pages on Facebook, it will tell you when the majority of your fan base is on Facebook. So then that way you're not posting it, in the morning if they're all on in the evening. Okay. So you want to take a look at that kind of stuff. But for the most part, Facebook is going to be in the evenings between 7 and 11 p.m. and Instagram first thing in the morning, unless you want to post it right before you head to bed. Okay. All right. Well, I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this. Thank you so much for those of you who have stuck it out with me this whole time. I appreciate it. Tomorrow we will be back to our normal 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I guess since we're in daylight savings, it's Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Instead of standard time. But you get it. We'll be back here at 12 tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Thursday Truth Be Told. So tomorrow is where you're going to have an opportunity to be able to ask me some of those questions, such as maybe it's tough situations I've been in, maybe it's how to deal with certain sticky situations, whatever. In terms of my business, kind of the who, what, where, when, how of it all, feel free to be able to pop on tomorrow and ask some questions. And who knows, I might even have just a truth be told kind of confessional time. I've thought about doing those too. So kind of like truth be told, just in case y'all were ever wondering. Okay. So we'll see. I may have that. I may just have question and answer time depending on who we got. Okay. So thank you again so much. I so look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and I just appreciate y'all being here. So you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.